Hi, I'm Richard.
And I'm Flynn, and together we are Tricky Bricks, and we are contestants on LEGO Masters Season 1 here in the US. So we're here to talk about our impressions of Episode 6, the Bridge Challenge. We're gonna just dive right in. So the episode started with a car race, as you saw.
A very short challenge. I think we had 30 minutes.
We had
on
30
that, right?
minutes to build a car, and perhaps you could take it from here.
Well, okay, so throughout the whole season, Flynn and I have built with one another. We designed everything together, we built everything together, even though we sometimes built different portions of the same model. But on this one, gosh, neither one of us had any experience with cars, and I was really feeling the pressure. So I had this idea of making a cool curve on a car using amusement park track.
The
roller coaster track, right. And so I just went and did that. I started with a chassis, and I'm not sure I left a lot of room for Flynn. I kept thinking I was like, work to my right, but it was a little model. And in the end, as you saw, we had a car which didn't make it all the way down the track. The reason for that was that the axle with that wheel was exactly the right height that the bushing I put on the side grabbed the curb on the side of the road and acted like a brake. So it didn't finish, and we got a 25-minute penalty.
Right, and there was something else about the car too. Now, he said we don't know anything about cars. I actually have built a lot of cars with my students.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's
I have
right.
a pretty good idea of what might be wrong, but I think there was something else that was wrong with the car. Do you remember what that was?
One thing that was wrong with the car is, and I didn't figure this out in the moment, I didn't find any axles wide enough to make the front wheels a single axle. So, a car doesn't track as straight if the axles can go different directions. And I don't know, I think I panicked on that one, so my bad on the car.
So then we moved on to the actual bridge building. So we had a 6-foot span between pillars, and we were not allowed to build onto the platforms. We had to build exactly in between the platforms, and the roadbed had to be even with the top of those pillars, which makes this extra difficult.
So what that meant, as far as I'm concerned, what that meant was we couldn't just take our bridge and set it on the cliff, right? That would be great. If all the truss and everything was just resting on the cliff the way it was in the Australian show, hooray! But instead it's between, so gravity is not your friend. We had 4 studs width on either side that we could build, and we put the side rails of our truss on those. And then down below on the cliff, there was just 2 studs. So Tyler and Amy's bridge and all of the bridges that did the best rested almost their entire weight on 2 studs at the bottom of the cliff.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And they used an amazing combination of arches and side support and all that good stuff. So you probably noticed that our bridge broke pretty early. It didn't hold as much weight as everybody else's.
45 pounds.
45 pounds. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One of the biggest reasons was by the time we got done with our 25-minute penalty and got to the brick pit, there were no large plates left. So no 8x16s, no 16x16s. We had to basically patchwork the entire thing together with some medium-sized plates and then a bunch of small plates. And with the time we were given, the smaller the parts, the longer it takes to actually build. So we really spent a lot of time.
Yes. Sorry there, I don't mean to interrupt you. So the kind of bridge that we built was a Warren truss bridge, and that's the kind that has this triangular structure here. So I knew immediately that we needed a lot of these lift arms. And I had practiced truss before, so I felt pretty good about that. On the bottom, every 16 studs, we had a beam going across. There was a Technic beam going across the bottom of the truss. But since we only had small plates, they weren't enough to reach from beam to beam, and that's why our roadbed crumbled like potato chips.
Yeah, it was, so there was a couple of things going on there. Definitely a little bit of us, a little bit of the brick pit. But all in all, I was really happy with the way our bridge turned out. I was very adamant that we make the bridge pretty, that it be visually pretty. So we went with a limited color palette. We used all white with green and yellow on the sides for these for the triangle parts, and we also had one that we put in the middle. And Brickmaster Amy, in particular, was very fond of the look of our bridge. Actually, both of them were,
Well,
and they
she
had
said
some
it looked
nice
like
things
corn,
to say.
right?
Yeah, she definitely kept mentioning corn as a thing, which really wasn't the intention, but it did kind of look like corn. So I thought that was pretty cool.
A really nice thing that Brickmaster Jamie said, and remember, he's designer of a bunch of the architecture sets, and I think he oversees those as well. So his opinion on architecture really matters to me. And before he got critical of the fact that our diagonal supports underneath weren't very strongly attached and the roadbed didn't look very strong, he said it reminded him of the kind of clean design they see in Denmark, which just filled my heart. That
pretty
felt
cool.
so good. And in the end, Flynn's insistence, and I totally agreed, on making a pretty bridge is what saved us, and we made it through the episode.
Yeah, so speaking of making it through the episode, of course, this was the episode where we had to say goodbye to Mel and Jermaine, and that was really tough. Love those guys. If you're watching, we love you guys. And it was really hard to see them go, especially when you're in the bottom two. It could be anybody's, it could be anybody's time to go home. You have a 50-50 chance, and so I think it makes you feel even more for the person that does get eliminated if you're the person who doesn't. So I really felt for them in that moment, and that was, I'm sure you could see, everybody, we were all just sort of devastated by that.
They're both great guys and really good builders and big Lego fans too. I think both of them can be found online.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. So you can find Mel at Iceberg Bricks here on YouTube, and then I know Jermaine is BX Bricks,
BX.
and I'm not sure if he has. I know he has a big presence on Instagram, so you can check him out there.
Yep.
So speaking of Instagram, you can find us on Instagram at Tricky Bricks. If you have any questions you'd like to ask us that we could answer, you could email us at flynn@trickybricks.com. And please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we put new videos out. We will be starting up with a how-to series on the powered up stuff real soon. So keep an eye out for that. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye.